Guys, what if I told you that you don't actually need to build n8n workflows manually from now? So with AI, you can actually create workflows and try to edit these workflows and try to like if there are any problems with the workflows, you can directly go ahead and fix them with just chatting with the AI model, like whatever the model that you want to go with. So in this video, we'll actually try to set up the flow to actually create automations and edit those automations without directly getting into n8n or adding the nodes in the n8n canvas. If this sounds interesting, let's get started with the video. So if you check with my channel, I have already created a video on this particular similar concept. This is the video. So in this particular video, I have actually shown you a way to actually interact with n8n and try to create workflows. But what we have actually done in that particular video is we actually went ahead with the third party MCP that we have in GitHub. And like that particular MCP that we have used is not completely equipped with all the capabilities we need. But in this video, we'll actually try to go ahead and interact with the MCP, which is the official one given by n8n, and we'll try to play with it. And before that, so the video is going to be divided in two parts. So the first part is going to be we'll be using any of the AI tool like ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, whatever you want. We'll be using that to generate the flow. So this is going to be the first flow that we generate, and then we'll try to what do you say, modify that particular flow if we have any problems with the MCP. So like let's without any theory more, like let's directly get into the practical implementation. So the first thing that we'll be doing is I'll just try to click on create a workflow. So which is now going to create a new workflow for me. And now I'll just try to go to ChatGPT. I'll give you a prompt in the description, or I'll just leave the prompt in the description. You can just copy out that prompt. Here you just have to replace the flow that you want to create with it. So what I'll try to go ahead with is I have a list of leads that I have in Google Sheet. So these leads has to be called using the retail voice agent that I have built. So what you have to do is you have to create a flow where whenever a new lead is added to Google Sheet and the status of that particular lead is set to not called, you have to actually make sure you take out that particular lead and you have to try to call the retail API. You have to go ahead and search out online regarding the API endpoint that you have to make, and you have to use the HTTP node in order to make the retail API request. And I want you to set out all the parameters that are required for both the nodes. Okay, so now we have the idea that we want to go ahead with. So what I would tell you here is if you have the flow in the mind, just give out the flow. And if you have the logic to build it, like what nodes to use and what are the parameters that you have to use and all those things, you can go ahead and give that over here. But wantedly, like I have the idea of retail AI API endpoint that I can use, but I just want the agent, I mean, I just want ChatGPT to go ahead and research the documentation of retail AI and try to like let's see if it can find out the particular endpoint that it has to use. And this particular, like I'll just try to send out the prompt. So the output that we would be getting is going to be a JSON code. So all the workflows that are built out on n8n, like whenever you try to export a workflow, like if you have done it previously or not, so whenever you try to export a workflow, what that particular file, the export file is going to contain a JSON code. So every workflow that is built out on n8n, and in that matter, any platform that you use, either make.com or Zapier, all the workflows are going to be based out of JSON. Now the ChatGPT is going to generate the JSON code for us, and that particular JSON code can be used to directly put that out in the n8n workflow. So let's see, it's generated the code. I think, yeah, it's generated the JSON. I'll just try to copy the code. I mean, this is the first attempt. I did not even ask it to, like, I did not even retry prompting it. So what I'll do is I'll just try to paste this flow here. So Command V or Control V, whatever you are using. So this is what we have got here. I'll just try to zoom in a bit and let's see, like, I'll just try to check with the retail API endpoint whether it got it perfectly or not. In another tab, I'll just try to open the retail AI API docs. So I think this is the documentation. And if I go to API reference, so it has to create a phone call, right? So I'll just try to change this to curl. So this has to be the URL, https api.retailai.com/v2/create phone call. So this is the version 2. If I go back to the n8n workflow, you see it actually came out with the wrong kind of, like, I mean, it came out with the wrong URL that we have to put in here. And what we'll try to do is, I'll now just try to give out the link of this particular documentation, and I'll go back to ChatGPT, and I'll just try to give a prompt. So the API endpoint that you have used in the previous JSON for the retail AI is completely wrong, and I have given you the reference for the particular API endpoint. I want you to go ahead and modify the HTTP node and try to give out the entire JSON that I can directly copy and paste it in n8n. And I'll just try to send out the prompt, and let's see what it's gonna do. Most probably now it's going to come out with the, yeah, it now got the, obviously it's now going to get it because we gave the URL of it, right? So you'll now have the JSON code. I'll just copy the code here, and I'll try to delete these nodes here, and I'll just try to paste in the code again. And let's see now if it configured any of the things. Okay, so I mean, this is like, this has to be configured, so we now got the API endpoint URL perfectly. So I mean, like, this is how you can go ahead and iterate out with the chat GPT and try to ask it whatever you want. If you want the body parameters and the header authentication as well for the curl thing here, you can go ahead and ask it to do that. It's going to do that. And that's how you have to, like, you can go ahead and create the flows. But now the main important thing that we have to cover here is how to interact with this workflow, right? I mean, if it's a simple workflow, you can directly go ahead with the AI models, and you can directly prompt it and get the code corrected, and you can paste that out here. But what if it's a complicated workflow? So in that case, this is not something that's ideal, right? So for that, we have MCP that n8n officially launched. This is not a third party MCP. So what you have to do is go to settings and just click on MCP access over here. And here, in order for the MCP, in order to work for the particular workflow, you have to go ahead and add out the workflow here. If I just move out my thing here, you see we only have two workflows that are added here. So what I'll try to do is, I'll go back to the workflows page, and I'll go back to overview here, and so just click on these three dots. You'll see an option to enable the MCPs. Like, you see this option, right? Just click on enable MCP, and now you see this like this particular icon which is going to show on the side of the workflow available in MCP. Now what you have to do is, you just have to go to settings, click on MCP access, and here you'll see the workflow that we have added, which is this particular one, retail AI outbound phone call workflow. And now just go to access token here. Here, just click on this one. You'll get the JSON code again. You just have to copy this out, and also copy this particular access token that is here. And what you have to do now is, obviously you have to go to Cloud Desktop, and just go to the settings, and you'll have the developer options. Just go to developer, and here you have to just click on edit config, and you just have to put out that particular code. So I have already done that. So once you have done, you just have to relaunch the Cloud Desktop, and that's it. You can directly go ahead and chat with your workflows. Now what I'll try to do is, let's say, maybe I'll just try to open out this particular workflow. So you'll now understand the thing that it can actually do. And we also have the documentation that is given. So yeah, this is the documentation that is given by the n8n, where you can actually understand what are the things that this particular server can, like the MCP server, can actually do. So this is the script that is I mean, this is the script for one of my tools that I have in my website. So what I'll do is, I'll just go to Cloud Desktop, and this is named as YT script, right? I'll just copy the name, and I'll just ask it. So I'm just asking it what is the last node in the workflow. I gave the name of the workflow and what's the function of it. So it has to get the like this particular node, which is the Mongo node, to insert the document, and it has to tell the context of that particular node. Let's see if it can actually go ahead and do that. As you can see, the MCP is now running it. So the first tool call that it made is to search the workflow, and it got the response. And these are all the nodes that we have added. And you see it's now getting the details of the workflow using the ID. So the ID is obviously going to be from the previous tool call, which is this one. And now we have the response based on the workflow details. The last node is the insert documents MongoDB node, the function of the insert documents node. So as you can see, it's now giving out the details as well. So the user ID, tool ID, script, and date, which are the exact things, if you see, are going to be there here. So that's how, like, I mean, if you want to go ahead and maybe make out some changes to this workflow, you can directly prompt it out over here, and it's directly going to go ahead and make the changes for you. And let's say if you're stuck in between, and if you're getting some errors when running the workflow, in that particular scenario as well, you can directly go ahead to Claude desktop, and you can directly go ahead and ask it to fix out the problems that you have. And I'm like really using it a lot, like the MCP. So I think this is something like in the recent updates that we have, this is something that I really liked. If you are building out products, or if you are building anything, I would love to see your products on X. Like you can directly come over to X, and you can directly connect with me from there. So yep, that's it for the video. And if you have any questions, don't forget to join our community, which is completely free. You can directly join our community and post your questions there. And like even me or the people in the community would be happy to help you out. So yeah, that's it for the video. I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.